Hello to all you lovely, brilliant people watching. Thank you. Today is Saturday, the 22nd of March. It's day 10 of my Mannatech journey and my health journey, health and wellness journey. And so I was getting a bit tired of making videos every day. It was just a little draining, so I had to kind of take a bit of a pause. But I've kind of been continuing to kind of test and adjust as we go, as it were. And so I had over the last few days, sort of, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, actually, I've been keeping a log. So every day when I take my supplements, I document what time I take them and what my doses are and what I've been taking. So basically, I had built up to Monday, I was taking 1 scoop of Ambertose Life and 1 scoop of Ambertose Complex morning and afternoon. And then on Tuesday, I thought, oh, well, let's just double it, right? Why not? So I went ahead and I took 2 scoops of Ambertose Life and 2 scoops of Ambertose Complex morning and evening. So that was basically like 4 scoops in the morning and 4 scoops in the evening. So basically 8 scoops in total. And each scoop I think is like 2 grams. So basically, like, I think suggestion, actually, I have the tub right here, let's double check. Recommended 1 scoop mixed with 8 fluid ounces of water or juice twice daily. So the recommended dose is 1 scoop per day. 1 scoop twice a day. And I had basically gotten up to 4 scoops twice a day, so basically 8 scoops. So taking almost, what is it? So 2 scoops days, 4 times the recommended dosage. But I wanted to, like, it was deliberately on purpose, by design, where I wanted to try out to see what would the difference be. And so I took that on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then, let's see. Yeah, so then on Thursday, I basically had, so, like, I've been okay, but I felt a bit run down. And then on Thursday, there was a lot of heat inside my body, and I sort of felt a bit like I feel when I have a fever, or when I, like when my body's going through like a, what's the word? Like a fever for healing. Like it's basically detoxing, right? So detox symptoms. And I wasn't too uncomfortable, but there was some discomfort in terms of like having a bit of like just feeling more tired and needing to rest more, and also experiencing a bit more pain inside my leg and in my feet. And one thing I did notice is that once I went up to 4 scoops twice a day, each time I take the scoops, I'd feel sensations in my feet again that they had calmed down. So I was hoping if I took more more Ambertose, that pain would get reduced quicker, and instead it kind of became a bit more intense, which I guess just means that there's more healing that needs to happen. And I was trying to speed it up by increasing the amount of Ambertose I was taking. But after 3 days of testing that out, it kind of became quite challenging. And so I've decided to scale back down to 2 scoops in the morning and 2 scoops in the afternoon. And that seems to be a comfortable dose for me right now. If I could tolerate the discomfort and maybe had better nutritional support, just in terms of eating more salads, more fruits, that sort of thing, if it was more available and accessible to me, then I might have considered carrying on with that. And also maybe if I could get some colonics or sort of flush my system out a bit more, and not being able to have celery juice every day as well, so that doesn't help. But I recognize with my body often enough when it's getting ready to purge or if it's kind of going through stuff. Like, it wasn't so bad that it would shut me down, but it was bad enough that I needed to rest. And so I kind of made the decision to scale back down. And as much as I would love to improve my health faster, um, I'm not that bothered about going so fast, if that makes sense. Like, I'm sure if I continued at a higher level of dosage, that gradually my body would adjust to using that nutrition and supplementation and be able to heal more and like be able to access more detoxing and cleansing and healing and stuff at a faster pace. But the payoff of that is that then I would need to physically rest more. And as it stands, I'm kind of comfortable with going slightly slower and being a bit more gradual because I know that like there's only so much the body can do at a given time, and I don't want to have to like I don't want to be shut down completely. I do still want to be able to function day to day to the capacity that I can. So anyways, I've kind of dropped back down to 2 scoops, and what I'm doing is whereas before I was taking 1 scoop of Ambrotose and Life and 1 scoop of Ambrotose Complex, I'm testing out taking 2 scoops of just one of the Ambrotose, partly to save time because then I don't have to open 2 tubs, but also just to see if there's any noticeable difference. If I take Ambrotose Life in the morning, Ambrotose Complex in the afternoon, again, Ambrotose Life has more seaweeds in it and alginates and things to help with removing toxins. So obviously, when you wake up and you've had the whole night of your body healing and processing and stuff, then that can also affect kind of how much toxins are in the body that need to get removed. So I thought, let me try that out. Maybe that might make a noticeable difference, or I might see if there is a difference at all in how the leg feels, in how the foot feels, if I get different sensations, if I'm using just one product versus the other. And I may switch to like one day I take Ambrotose Life, one day I take Ambrotose Complex. But for now, I'm just splitting it morning and evening. So 2 scoops of Life in the morning, 2 scoops of Complex in the afternoon. I haven't touched sport yet. I'm going to kind of get my Ambrotose sort of consistent again and just comfortable with that before I start introducing sport into the equation. But I am still taking the liver as well as the OSP twice a day. And I did think of increasing my OSP doses, but for now I think I'm going to just stick with the recommended levels and just give my body time. Like, it's only been 10 days. And actually there's been some noticeable changes. So for example, I had an infection around my belly button, and it looks like it's reduced in kind of the area that's been infected. And so I'm going to give it, another week, and then if it's still not cleared up fully, I'll go to the GP. But I'm hoping my body can sort it out. And also, I was having quite sort of like solid. The skin was quite taut and solid and firm, and there was sort of around the belly button as if there's like something solid on the inside. So anyway, I can describe it. And that looks like to have started to break down a bit as well. So I'm hopeful about that. Pain in general is kind of from a 8 or 9, it's dropped to maybe like a 2 or a 3. But there is still like an underlying sensation of pain when walking. And it may just be that it kind of comes and goes. I haven't paid too much attention on it right now, but sort of there's definitely noticeably something when I take the products. Then after that, like, it does feel like something is getting stimulated or activated or something. And then the other thing, my appetite. So I've noticed my appetite has changed a bit. Some days I'm like not hungry at all, and other days I'm like really like ravished. Like, I can just eat like to no end. And so that's been interesting to notice. Oh, and the other thing, I've been experiencing a lot of what is it called? Dehydration. So there's a real dryness in my mouth, and I'm not sure if it's just the water I'm drinking or if I'm just a lot thirstier than before. The challenge I have is every time I start drinking water, I have to go to the bathroom more, and that can be a bit of a challenge sometimes. And at the moment, I'm feeling a bit weak. Like I was feeling a bit stronger a few days before, and it may have been from like the activities and things I've been doing that's kind of tired me out. So, oh, that was the other thing to share. So on Wednesday, no, sorry, Tuesday. Tuesday, I went and got fitted for a wheelchair. So I had like a measurement and assessment done with a wheelchair at the hospital. And oh my God, it was like such a joy, such a pleasure to be in a wheelchair and to just be able to move. Like, I hadn't realized how restrictive it is, where like my legs don't quite respond as much as I'd like to, and I can't just move around as freely as I used to be able to. And just being in a wheelchair and just like being able to move back and forth, like it just felt so right, so right. Like just it was like, oh my God, finally, like I have the capacity to function again. Like there's a chance I could like actually start like operating like I was before. And so yeah, that's been like super exciting. And I was really surprised like the wheelchair they got for me. Because needed a bariatric wheelchair, you know, larger than the average person. The wheelchair they got for me was like so easy to maneuver, like by myself. I was just blown away how easy it was to just move around. And so, like, I was using my arms, and that took a bit of strength. And once I got used to it and kind of figured out and understood how it worked, it was actually not too difficult. It was actually relatively straightforward. But so then, as a consequence, I did use a bit more strength and kind of used a bit more energy as I would normally. But it's just so exciting. So I've got that to look forward to. I should hope to get that in a few months once the order get processed, and then I get fitted specific to that one. So anyway, there's a possibility that that activity could have then caused me to stay tired and basically end up not being as rested. And so maybe because of that, I'm a bit more tired than usual. It could be my body's healing, and so therefore it needs to rest in order to recover and heal. Number of possible reasons. What I do know is that I do need to get the lymphatics moving a bit more. I haven't dared to kind of go on the rebounder yet, just because I want to kind of get the amateur levels in check, but also I want to get the pain under a bit more control because right now it's so painful just standing sometimes, and I need to kind of work through that first, I guess, or just get the courage to be able to like rebound and like just stand, even just like a health bounce or something. But one step at a time. Like it's only 10 days. I'm like, give you a few months. Don't try to rush. Don't try to run before I can walk. But just feeling a bit better, feeling mentally a bit more able-bodied, just mentally to be able to function a bit better. And the possibility of a wheelchair, oh my God, how exciting it would be just to be able to move around and like not be restricted by what my physical capabilities might be, and to augment that with a wheelchair. Like it never occurred to me how much a difference it would make, but just sitting in a wheelchair and moving about, be able to sort of go forwards, backwards and move around, it just made such a difference. Like, oh my God, I cannot begin to tell you. So I'm super excited about that, and super excited about what that can mean for me when I can start moving again, and actually like to be able to then go out and like be social and go to theatre or cinema, or even just go to the shopping centre, or just go to the shops and just be able to like actually tolerate being in that environment. So anyways, yeah, it looks like that might be an appropriate solution going forward to help me kind of get mobile again. And then naturally, as time progresses and I get my strength back, maybe I'll be able to start walking again a bit more regularly. But for now, I think this is going to be the only way that I can really move around. But to be able to move around, oh my God, such a joy, such a pleasure, such a delight. I was literally over the moon. I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, oh my God, like after 5 years of not being able to move around properly, to be able to just literally go one end of the room to the other and not be out of breath and not be fatigued, and just like, obviously, in a wheelchair, if your arms get tired, you can stop, put brakes on or whatever if you need to. But then it's like you can rest, and then once you've rested, then you can start again. And so I'm assuming it'll take a bit of time to build up the strength in my arms and kind of get the capacity to move sort of more streamlined and things. But just the fact that I can, the fact that I'll be able to, it's so exciting. So exciting, I cannot tell you. So anyway, that's my day 10 update. I think I may try to do maybe weekly updates rather than daily updates, but I am doing my best to log my supplementation consumption on a daily basis. And so let's see how this kind of 2 scoops a day works. I'm probably gonna experiment at some point doing just Ambrose Life for maybe 5 days straight, or just Ambrose Complex for 5 days straight, and then see if there's a noticeable difference. And then hopefully do that before I run out, so that then I can determine what to have for my next month's order. So that way I'm prepared ahead of time, and I'm getting the thing that I think is making the most difference and having the most impact. Because initially I wasn't sure how I'd respond to Ambrose Life, and I thought if I get the complex, at least I know that I did get positive benefits from it. And definitely the swelling in my leg has changed shape. Like, it's more swollen at the top of the leg, but less swollen at the bottom, which, like, that's for me a positive. Is like, okay, so the swelling's coming out from the foot and the ankle and kind of moving up further up the leg, which I'm okay with, because again, just as things clear, as my body heals, then it'll clear the passages and the toxins will come out, and then all that fluid should also come out. But time will tell, because obviously lymphedema is diagnosed as a non-treatable condition and non-curable condition. So let's see at least how we can manage living with it, and we can get our life back. That would be nice, to not be bedbound all the time. And I think having a wheelchair will definitely help, but if it weren't for the stamina that I got from taking the supplements, I'm not sure I would have necessarily been able to enjoy the wheelchair or use the wheelchair as much as I was able to when I went. So on that front, I do certainly feel an inner strength growing, cultivating, getting nurtured. Oh, and the other thing is, I do have these like flushes of heat on the inside, and like all sorts of interesting heat sensations that kind of come and go. And I'm pretty sure that's down to the products. Like, I think something's happening in my body, and as my body's healing and adjusting, then it's kind of, warming up on the inside. And what I can take from that is maybe my cells are now like able to use the energy in my body a bit more, and therefore there's then heat being produced in the cells as the energy is being used. So anyways, I'm probably going to introduce or consider introducing in some additional supplements once I get baselined with the Mannatech products, just to see if like there might be additional, further additional benefits from taking some other things that might also help with inflammation in the body, or also with improving the fat burning metabolism and activate the brown fat. But that's for another time. For now, this is coming up to 20 minutes, so I think that should be more than enough of an update for now. So yeah, day 10, feeling optimistic. Nothing definite or confirmed, but definitely I'm not in burning pain, so I am so grateful that I'm not at that place anymore. But I do still get pain sensations, so let's give it a couple of months and see if there's still pain sensations there or not. This has been only 10 days, and we have been testing with very high doses of therapeutic product, or high therapeutic doses of product, which if I was desperate and maybe then I might tolerate the side effects of the healing that's happening in the body, but as I'm not desperate, I'd rather be comfortable, so going slowly with that. All right, that's all for now. Have an amazing weekend or rest of day wherever you are, and I shall catch up with you all soon. Bye for now.